Hello everyone, I'm Lisa Cownie with KEYC News 12. Very honored to be here today with the three winners of this year's Greater Mankato Growth Volunteer of the Year Awards. You've all done such great work, and so Ron, let's start and talk about Ann's contributions to the City Center.
So Ann was very integral when they started the City Art Walking Sculpture Tour, and she was there from day one, coming up with the planning and trying to figure out what some of this looks like. And you know, when Ann works on a board or she works on a committee, she really works on a board or works on a committee. And so she was very integral in getting our company, Vetterstone, to donate the sculpture bases for that. And she went out and personally made sure every sculpture base looked exactly how she wanted it. And so just, you know, would have had people chip away to make sure it was just right, and really did a lot of the hands-on work for it and a lot of the global work as well.
And Yvonne, you as well, I know, have spent many hours in volunteer service to the Greater Mankato area.
Well, one of the things I've done is worked with Ann in the City Art Sculpture Walk. She's one of the reasons I joined that committee. The other thing I've done for Greater Mankato Growth that I've really enjoyed is moderating the political forums and discussions. Jonathan was doing that for a while, and then his schedule didn't permit, and I said, hey, I'd like to learn how to do that, and they gave me a little bit of training. I went to League of Women Voters and learned some stuff, and that's what I was doing all this last year, was doing forums for the mayoral race and various others.
So Sandra, you're receiving on behalf of Visit Mankato.
So about 4 years ago, I started the sports psych team along with the Mankato Marathon, and I had an incredible experience the first year running in the marathon. And my own experience was I had just had a baby and just started getting back into training and had an incredible race. I remember at the end of that race thinking, you know, I was really able to have such an incredible peak experience because of these mental skills, and I really wanted to help other runners experience the same things that I did. And so we started the sports psych team to help runners along the race and just help them through those mental roadblocks.
Boy, now it's folks like you three that make this Greater Mankato area so wonderful. In my view, I moved back here 6 years ago, and you guys are all one of the reasons why this community is so generous, giving of their time and talents. And I know doing what you do is very rewarding, and I'm sure Ann has some personal stories to share of how it really affected her life.
She did, and you know, she was brought up in a household where you were just expected to give back. My parents gave a lot, and it just was really the expectation when we were growing up, and Ann I think got a double dose of that. And the one thing she was really not good at was saying no to any committees or any boards, and what really spoke to her was bringing beauty to the city, and she knows that brings people in and it brings community. And just watching people down on a Sunday morning going through the sculpture walks and looking at that, you see grandparents with grandkids, and I think it's just so neat, and those are the kind of things that really spoke to her.
Sandra, you talked about your marathon experience, and it must be rewarding for you to hear other people share the same thing that you went through.
Absolutely. I think one of the things when I really think about our 4 years of the sports psych team and the stories of the people that were impacted by the members of the team, it's the last runner who maybe isn't finishing in 5 hours or 6 hours in the marathon. We each have a responsibility to use our passions in a way that helps people in our community, and I think this is just one way that I'm able to tap into my passion to help other people.
It's difficult sometimes when you have your own to-do list, you know, and you're busy with making your own living and taking care of your family and that sort of thing. It's difficult to imagine going and volunteering your time and doing things, but what I've found is that when I go and volunteer, it makes those other things easier.
Absolutely.
Because I make those good connections and I find ways to be more efficient because I learn ways to be more efficient from other people.
Yeah.
And all that stuff adds up to, you know, being able to do more with my life.
Any parting thoughts now, or closing thoughts as we wrap things up?
Well, I know what my sister would say to close things up is what she normally said: let your sparkle shine.